way ahead. Oh, at the buzzer. What can they do? On one to the finish. Five seconds to go. Speed towards the basket for two.
And moments away from the start of our final game of this leg of the ABL Basketball League Invitational Tournament 2023. The last game of the preliminary round will feature the home team, the Saigon Heat, taking on Lourve, Surabaya, in a game that everybody in this building will be thundersticks and expecting their home team Heat to win. Noel Talaga still working alongside Coach Todd Curbs, and at this point, of course, we have a full strength Saigon Heat. Everybody's there. No only two, however, for Lourve, Surabaya.
Well, the truth is, no, we have a bit of a mismatch today. We'll be honest with the ABL fans right now. The Saigon Heat are coming in full strength. They right now have the #1 seed heading in. A loss here would slip them to #2, but I don't think we're going to see that. Matt Van Pelt's team's prepared to go ahead and finish up this fourth stop the right way and move into the playoffs.
Well, the Thundersticks are in effect once again right here in our venue, the Arena here in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And the playoffs will begin in the first week of March. That's enough time for a lot of these teams, Coach, to actually recuperate some of the lingering injuries, but also enough time for them to get to know each other. We know that they've been together since the 2nd of January. There have been a lot of personnel changes, but when it comes to the playoffs, whatever lineup that you have here, there is no more adding of players heading into the playoffs. That's it. Now you got to work with what you have.
Correct, and this is going to be a crucial time heading into the playoffs to create that chemistry off the court that can oftentimes affect what you do on the floor. I believe any of the 4 teams that are in the playoffs all have a legitimate shot to win this, Noel. So we're going to watch Saigon Heat probably play a number of their younger and local players. We're going to see a lot of the players from their VBA Heat team play tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do.
Well, of course, the Saigon Heat, if they win in this matchup today, they will be the #1 seed into the playoffs, and they will be facing the Singapore Slingers. That is a tough customer once again, guys. They beat Singapore by just 3 points.
They did, and they were down 7 late in the game, and so that could be a great round 1 matchup, 1 versus 4, and again, showing how any of those 4 teams can come away with this chip.
Well, here we go with the introduction. Players for the Saigon Heat.
Xin được trân trọng giới thiệu giám sát viên và nội dung tài của trận thi đấu ngày hôm nay và Mr. Referees for this game are Mr. Wong Jung Min, Mr. Chontaban Natnavong, Mr. Thi Yong Shan, Mr. Santos Harry. Còn bây giờ xin được mời tất cả quý vị khán giả chúng ta cùng đứng lên để làm lễ chào cờ. Xin mời quý vị cùng bọt nón mũ chỉnh trang y phục. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem. Quốc ca. you. Now doing two teams, please shake hands.
Well, with the festivities out of the way, we can now get to the basketball action at hand. Once again, this is the final game of our preliminary round. Saigon Heat looking to snare that number 1 seed against Lourve, Surabaya with only 1 win coming into this. As we take a look at some of the keys over here. Now, of course, without Alioni Chu, the entire complexion of the game changes for Lourve, Surabaya.
Without question. The first thing that Surabaya is going to have to do is get back on defense and make this a half-court game. The Saigon Heat are going to look to really push the tempo. They've got more depth. They've got more experience. They've got a little more talent. They want this to be a multiple opportunity game where they can run the floor up and down. Surabaya, on the other hand, has to slow the ball down and limit the amount of possessions.
Well, this man is going to be very busy tonight. We're talking about Marcus Hammonds. Did not play well in their last outing, hoping to bounce back, but he's still averaging close to 20 points a game and a little over 6 rebounds.
And Marcus Hammond continues to carve out his career here in Southeast Asia. I anticipate seeing him play in a number of leagues out here moving forward. I've got information that says he'll be playing in some 3-on-3 tournaments and some 5-on-5 teams here throughout Southeast Asia when the ABL comes to a conclusion.
How about this? One of the heroes in the win against Singapore, Hassan Thomas, 10.7 points again, 9.7 rebounds. But one of those scores that he had actually gave the lead for good to the Saigon Heat when they defeated the Slingers the other day.
A big-time play when he dove down the lane last night against the Slingers to finish with that dunk. Hassan Thomas has been a great addition. Counts as a Vietnamese player here for the Saigon Heat. Will be a main member of their national team as well. So I'm looking forward to see what Hassan Thomas brings today.
You know, the 10.7 points, that's deceptive because he does a lot of the intangibles as well for the Saigon Heat, especially with his defensive tenacity and the way he can just guard the opposing imports as well.
He does, and when you're surrounded by Gilliard and Holder and Combs, you've got guys who are going to get some shots up and average some points. So that's also going to affect the points per game for him. But to average almost 10 rebounds to game as a local player is a big deal here in the ABL.
Natapong Jontapa once again is our crew chief here, referee from Thailand. He is representing, of course, and as well as Harry Santos of the Philippines. And of course, coming into this matchup, we can see the starting lineups here. No Alion Chu in that lineup. And they actually have B-Boy Enki earlier listed at center. They've moved that now to Rayleigh Pratama, who is going to be starting at center. He's about 6'5".
And Jamar Johnson now also going to have to contribute here offensively. They're going with a standard local lineup. This is going to be invaluable experience for Surabaya, but it's going to be awfully difficult for them to compete with the Saigon Heat.
Especially without Alioni Chu. As we take a look at Coach Joe Martiera from the Philippines, he's the coach of Lourve Surabaya. Now for the Saigon Heat, they are starting out with 2 of their 3 imports, so it appears that one of them, Holder, is not going to be in the lineup. Actually, they're only having 2 imports, only Gilliard starting here.
And Coach Matt Van Pelt going to go a little bit of a smaller lineup. Let's give some of these local players a chance to shine, and you're correct. With Combs and Holder out, he's going to let Hassan Thomas manage the center position, give Phu Ving that power forward, and watch Vo Kim Ban and Kwa Chen lock down on the wing there a little bit.
Matt Van Pelt, of course, has risen to prominence after just being a point guard, a player here in Vietnam. Was an assistant coach to Kevin Yurkus, assistant coach to yourself, Coach Todd. But now he has risen to head coach rather quickly, and that has really catapulted his career.
He's done an outstanding job. He's going with the polo shirt tonight instead of the suit, which is very surprising here for the Heat fans. But nonetheless, I know Matt's ready to coach his tail off. I'll talk to him about it later.
The Cubs are back beside us once again, Coach. You have to remember, of course, it was his birthday the other day. That's why he wore his birthday suit.
That might be a technical foul. Nonetheless, I know his team's prepared tonight. Looking forward to seeing what they bring.
And you're also able to get some of these thunder sticks that have disappeared. Oh, they're with our friend here from Malaysia. But these thunder sticks, of course, making the noise. I think I'm going to bring some home to the Philippines with me. What do you think?
They were rattling in my head last night at 3 a.m., I think. I could not shake the sound of them.
About to get underway. This is the last game of the preliminary round. We will have 4 teams remaining at the end of this as the playoffs begin this coming first week of March. First possession going to Gilliard. And Gilliard had some big shots there as well in their last outing.
And Surabaya going to start out here in a zone, trying to make up the size difference.
I can hear the crowd coming from that Kwa Tran three-pointer. Chan Kwa, rather. Getting us going with a court 3. Gonna let the crowd take over for the Lourve three-pointer. Good answer there coming from Johnson.
And Jamar evening the game up from the corner.
Jamar Johnson.
Surabaya staying in that zone, giving up their second three because of it.
That is full overtime. So we want to see some of these members of the Japanese national team shine tonight, Coach.
And we have a couple of members here for the Heat. Unlike the NS Matrix, which is basically that Malaysian national team plus some import players, this is not the national team for the Saigon Heat. You only have a couple of players here. This is the standard Saigon Heat team from the Vietnamese Basketball Association.
Missed by B-Boy Angel. Three-pointer once again.
And the worst nightmare possible for Surabaya is to come out in the zone and let the Saigon Heat hit their first three-point shots.
Yeah, they've been teeing off from beyond the arc. Johnson. He's strong that time. Down goes to Gilbert. Gilliard rather, Gilliard.
Wow, Saigon Heat coming out, giving the crowd something to celebrate over. 4 straight threes.
No answer for Surabaya. Watch on. Attacking this
No, we're slightly over 2 minutes into the game, and it feels like the party started. 4 straight threes, now a three-point opportunity play. Saigon Heat coming out on fire.
14-3, just like that. That's Kwa Chan. That's how we call him in the Philippines, by the way, Kwa Chan. I know you call him Chan Kwa over here. Whatever works on the free throw line.
Well, the Vietnamese fans like to call him Mr. Wiggles. We'll go with Kwa or Chan.
4 3-point field goals and 1 3-point play. And a turnover here. Tuasela threw it too high for Johnson. We don't even see Hammonds in the starting lineup here. Hammonds is not in the starting lineup for Surabaya. We got 4 locals.
No, he's not. And you can't help but feel Surabaya just wants to use this as an opportunity to see how much they can develop some of their local players. In the meantime, the Saigon Heat are just working out around the rim.
That's their first miss of the game, and it comes from 2 feet away. As Hassan Thomas could not get it to go, and they touched it last. 15-3, folks. Saigon Heat not taking the Surabaya team lightly.
And the Saigon Heat really picking up outside this three-point line. They're picking up an extended defensive coverage, trying to impose their will early.
And that's Batama, the center, taking a three. Thomas getting it out. Three-pointer on its way. In and out. That miss coming from Volker Line. 7 minutes remaining here. So far, so good for the Heat. Engel on the flank decides to drive. B-Boy getting creative. Good defense by Hassan Thomas.
Real nice challenge from Thomas, forcing the errant shot.
It is raining threes in Ho Chi Minh, Coach.
18-3, and we've barely taken our coats off, and Saigon Heat have jumped out to this 15-point lead.
5 out of 6 from beyond the arc to begin for the home team. Engel heard the whistle. It's a good thing he heard the whistle because we didn't. He just hurled it up, and he will be gifted with free throws. I feel your pain from last Sunday, Coach, that you did not have any headphones on.
You can only imagine without headphones and these thunder sticks what it felt like.
My goodness, they are loud.
And you can't afford to miss free throws here down 15 and trying to just put some points on the board to make yourself competitive.
B-Boy Rangers actually an 80% free throw shooter for his career. But in this building, those percentages can change if you're the visiting team.
Sure can. Added pressure when you hear this noise ringing.
Able to split it that time. Watch on. Dropping it off. And so only one member of the starting lineup has not put in any points yet. And that is Win Fu Vin. He played big against Singapore.
The Saigon Heat imposing their will and just getting whatever they want to on the offensive end.
Umasela from the elbow. Down for the rebound, picked up once again by the Heat. Gilliard recovers. Three-pointers. And a timeout called by Joe Marchena. 23 Saigon Heat. 4 for Lourve Surabaya. He will step away back in a moment.
Định hướng tập trung xây dựng tiềm năng của khách hàng từ thực đơn, chất lượng sản phẩm cho đến trải nghiệm tại cửa hàng và những dịch vụ công nghệ 4.0 hiện đại. McDonald's được biết đến qua những món ăn truyền thống làm nên tên tuổi của mình như bánh burger Big Mac nổi tiếng với công thức vàng nguyên hơn 50 năm tuổi, khoai tây chiên lừng danh thế giới, món ăn trẻ em Happy Meal tặng kèm đồ chơi hoặc là sách. Xin trân trọng cảm ơn McDonald's đã cùng đồng hành với Saigon Heat trong ABL Invitational 2023.
It is the Red Hot Heat Palace. Let me call it just the Red Hot Heat Palace right now, because most of these fans are in red. Their team is in white and yellow. It feels like they're in the center of the sun right now with the way the Saigon Heat have come out shooting here, Coach.
It really has, and Evan Gilliard getting loose early, almost as though he knows his minutes might be limited tonight if the lead goes up too quickly.
Johnson, his second field goal.
Great execution from Surabaya coming out of a timeout, getting Johnson a shot right in his ribs.
He's got 5 of the 6 points here for Surabaya. Evan Gilliard. Thomas putting it on the floor. And he will draw the foul, much to the dismay of Pratamo. Looks like he got hit in the face. So they deem it as a non-shooting foul against Lely Pratama. Oh, Hassan Thomas. Hanging in the air for the layup.
Baseline inbounds play working to perfection for Coach Van Pelt.
25-6, less than 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Spoken up against Huachan. Almost ran into one of our cameras.
And this can happen, Noel, without an inside presence for Surabaya. The Saigon Heat are just going to continue to extend their defense without that threat, and they'll get in the passing lanes and force turnovers.
How about the double pirouette coming from Tuasela? The first field goal from a local here for Surabaya. Three-pointer once again. That's on his hook.
To the delight of this crowd, the new Vietnamese heritage player sending it home on the follow.
He will be making some noise in Cambodia, that's for sure, Coach. Three-pointer. A miss. Engel stays with it now for Surabaya.
Good hustle from Engel to get that extra possession.
Engel will turn it up now. 6 on the shot clock. Horns play. Pick and roll action. It's going to be a...
And that's a kick ball from Fu Vin. Yes, that was a kick ball. Referee on the weak side there caught it.
I can't hear a whistle. There was a flopping warning, however, in one of the players from Saigon. That's what I saw, but I could not hear the whistle for the kickball.
I think they called Fu Vin for the kickball and the 14 on the shot clock.
Another three-pointer missed here.
Hassan Thomas with another rebound there, too. He's really all over the boards right
His
now.
confidence level is sky high at this point here, Coach. Gilliard gets the baseline. Gets it over to the side. Stepping out of bounds, however, for Huachan.
We've seen it happen all week. Taking that negative step when you catch the ball in the corner puts you in danger of stepping out of bounds. Happens again there to Mr. Wiggles.
Zoomin An is going to see his first action of the game.
Zooming on, a real popular point guard out here in Vietnam. He's done great work and had championships with the Saigon Heat in the Vietnamese Basketball Association.
He has passed the guard to himself as Johnson brings it across. You're still in the first quarter, folks. 3 and 37 to go. 27 Saigon, 8 Surabaya. Marcel almost lost it. Johnson has to move. Get it onto Angel. And he steps out of bounds as well.
We've seen it now on both ends. That negative step costing both teams. Tim Wallen now in the lineup though for Saigon Heat. The workman around the basket and defensive stalwart.
Yeah, he looks like he could set a hard pick, doesn't he?
And he loves to do it. He is a physical player, Noel, banging around the rim, setting good screens, doing all the little things you love as a teammate.
Gilliard tries to hook it over. Good touch passing here. John Croix on the break. 29-8.
And Croix with a nice touch on the floater there.
Angel. This time there was no whistle. Thomas leading the break. Getting it over. On distance with Ruben.
Surabaya reluctant to take their second timeout here in the first quarter, but this game is certainly getting away from them. They may not have any other options than to expel some timeouts to keep it close.
After hitting their first 4 3-pointers, the Heat have not looked back. However, they did not get the rebound that time. Marcella, in their own action, read well by Thomas. Into the front court, Quachano there.
And Hassan Thomas in transition with Tim Wall and Qua. He took a good look, decided to give it to the point guard instead, who gives it right back on the lob.
All right, this guy's got springs in his shoes, Coach. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first. 33 Saigon, 8 Surabaya. Angel on the crossover against Du. And he will draw the foul from Duminan. Gonna have a few more subs come in to the game here for the Heat. In the meantime, we see that last play as B-Boy Angel is going to be given free throws.
And we're seeing some wholesale substitutions here early by Matt Van Pelt. Gilliard out of the game, Hassan Thomas out of the game, Qua out of the game, and we're going to see some backups and some local players get some quality burns today.
The third unit on the floor already for Coach Matt Van Pelt, and we're still here in the first quarter. Look at this crowd. Angel splits it again. Or Angel gets both this time, rather. 33-9. That was a split by Angel. Wall. Oh, Fu Vin wants to take that three-pointer.
He really does, and that's well within his distance.
Quick ball movement, but better hands on the defense by Johnson.
With 4 on the shot clock, Coach Van Pelt's going to take a quick timeout, draw himself up a little side out of bounds play.
With the third unit on the floor, it is a 33-9 lead for the Saigon Heat. Gotta catch me one of those shirts, Coach. You can do it.
I don't know if I've got the hands for it anymore. I might take it right in the face.
And the crowd here once again in our venue, the Marina Blue Arena. Taking in the final day of the preliminary round, the final game of the preliminary round. Atapong Jontapa, of course, our crew chief from Thailand. We are still in the first quarter, folks. 33-9 in favor of the Saigon Heat.
Hard to believe we're in this first quarter with the number of baskets we've seen the Heat make already.
Nice cut by Will.
Matt Van Pelt drawing up a play in that timeout for Anquiet, getting the quick cut to the basket and the finish. He is lightning quick on the perimeter.
That's right. Win Anquiet coming off the bench.
And the Saigon Heat very high on Anquiet. All of his quickness. Here he is on the open floor now.
Gives it up to do, and Wall can't finish because he got clipped. So Tim Wall, also listed as a local, going to the free throw line. So what's the story here on Tim Wall? I mean, he looks like he's learned basketball rather like in his teens or like that, because his form isn't 100% yet.
No, raised here in Vietnam. He's a local Vietnamese player, extremely physical, and one of those players you love to have as a teammate. Does all the little things. He's a screener, he's a rebounder. You'll watch him hustle. He defends players that are bigger than him in the post. An invaluable member of the Saigon Heat.
Tim Wall, you did have a player once who was actually a Taekwondo practitioner and coach.
Hung Ka-che, the big fella, multi-time national championship in Taekwondo and also a staple of Vietnam's national basketball team.
Francisco da Silva, almost pulling an Alvarado on Du.
And we saw the Saigon Heat slip into a press after that free throw there, just working on what he may have for the playoffs.
36-9. Tuasela continues to be the point guard here for Surabaya. Got a bit of travel that time, taken away by Du. Oh, that pass was a little too high there for Hyun. Hyun Tuk Nam. Or Hyun Chuk Nan. I have to get these names right, Coach. It's the first time we're seeing them here. We know these players. Number 47, of course.
Saigon now slipping back into his zone defense.
Silva. Gotta get to Tuasela. How to get to Johnson.
And this is really a great idea by Matt Van Pelt. When you have your import players out, switching up the type of defense that you're going to play entirely can give the other team a different look during that time.
Win. Passing it to some young lady who was trying to make a TikTok video.
I'll tell you, he put some pace on it. Good thing no one in the crowd got hurt from that pass.
She almost got the full brunt of that. And she saw her entire life pass before her. Johnson scoots in.
Good take from Jamar Johnson, right to the rack. And
well, at least they crossed the double-digit mark heading into the second quarter, but it has been all Saigon, 36-11 at the end of quarter number one.
Kill your go! Breaking ankles, Barkley ahead! Oh, at the buzzer! What can they do? On one to the finish! Five seconds to go, speed towards the basket for two.
Second quarter is about to begin. It was a massacre in the first quarter. And Saigon Heat 36, Lourve Surabaya 11. Noel Zarate still working with 4 former ABL Coach of the Year and champion coach, Todd Purves. And I'm going to ask you for your assessment of that first quarter, but I pretty much know what you're going to say.
Well, I'm not so sure. I've seen a higher field goal percentage than 82.4 in the first quarter. So right now, Saigon Heat can do no wrong, and they'll continue to roll it up here unless something changes.
And there was Pelimale getting his first attempt of the game, just coming off the bench. Three-pointer win, yes! And he's shooting the crowd.
Saigon Heat entering this second quarter, already shooting 75% from three-point range. Add another to the tally.
39-13. Johnson had a three-pointer earlier. Pelimale getting it out once again. And they did not even hear each other that time, Coach.
And great help off the pick and roll there from Tim Wall, which is what he does, being so active defensively and forcing that shot clock violation. Things continue to roll for the Heat.
By here in the second quarter.
Surabaya in that 2-3 defense right now. The Heat going to try and work the baseline. And again, we might see for the third time today someone stepping out of bounds on that baseline with the negative step.
I don't think it was a negative step. I just think he just ran out of bounds and forgot he was there.
You might be right. So oftentimes players will catch that ball, but before they make that next move of the shot, they drop 1 foot backward, and it's tight in that corner.
That's right. Right now, Pelimale going over to the side, three-pointer. Finally, one drops again for Surabaya.
The first one and a good look from the corner there.
That was Lupati getting that one, and they forced the turnover, courtesy of Ray Patrama. Pelimale had a basket earlier, representing a rare bench points for Lucas Surabaya. Angle with a fake. Oh, and Patrama was not ready for the pass.
Both teams with the full local lineups right now, giving invaluable experience for all of these local players later on in their international careers.
39-16 right now. Looking around that rim. Ball outside, 2 for 3. How about Nguyen? Just mistimed his jump there. He looked like he wanted a follow slam.
Absolutely. Unket, relentless going toward that rim, just not quite able to corral that tip back. His quickness and his aggression still being felt out here, though.
Party now. Here comes Pelimale. Angel asking for a pick from Johnson. And it's turned over. Whoa, they keep it again. Shot clock did not reset.
It did not. No change of possession there, but it's going to be a turnover for Surabaya regardless.
Pelimale had it in his hands, but could not contain it. 39-16. Regardless if you can't hear the score, whatever you're trying to say. These drums are really loud here.
Surabaya is going to sit in this 2-3 zone.
No relation to John, I hope.
None at all.
41-16.
And Tim with the strong finish there around the rim.
Surabaya looking for something close to the hoop. And that's going to mean free throws now coming up for Lupati. So Rich Snell, Raptors, Lupati.
Like they may get Wall with that foul. Another thing you love about a player like Tim Wall is that he plays within himself. He goes to his strengths. He uses the hustle plays. You won't try and see him take guys off the dribble too often and do things he can't do. He stays right within his role, and it's such an advantage in Saigon Heat.
I've never even seen him dribble, Coach. Lupati knocks down both. 7 minutes remaining here in the first half, and what has been a complete domination by the Saigon Heat. Oh, it's a rare dribble there coming from Lourve, but he needed it to get to the rim.
And again, you see him pass up the open three, one dribble to the lane. Tim Wall off to a great start in this first half.
43-18, that is our score. I will be needing a calculator later on. I believe the lead is 25 right now. Lupati will manufacture free throws once again. Now, if you're Lourve Surabaya, you have an import on the floor, you have a B-Boy Angel who's a veteran of the international game. You're going up against a local lineup. You might start thinking that, hey, we're on even ground at this point.
To some degree, you're right. It's an even lineup in terms that Saigon Heat have their local players in as well as Surabaya. So again, this is going to be about experience, not about the points on the scoreboard. We're going to watch these players and hopefully develop for their next competition.
Like one of the Vietnamese players being warned for, you really can't move when you're already in that area.
You're exactly right. He crossed the lane after the free throw shooter received the ball, and that's a no-no. Referee letting him know.
And a lane violation against Angyo is going to turn the ball over. So we're going to have Gunawan coming into the game for the first time. That's the pianist. Oh no, he actually started the game. So Gunawan is in, along with Gusti Saputra. So we're having some of the players now from Surabaya see some action.
Gunawan getting again. Any Surabaya fans out there? Is this any relation to the great Ronnie Gunawan?
Oh, Ronnie Gunawan was an icon in basketball. And Tim Wall wants to be an icon here in Vietnamese basketball as he gets back-to-back baskets. Mark Johnson. Horn Jackson. Marcelo back in. Backdoor cut read well by the Vietnamese team. And here comes Nguyen. And he passes.
Young good fella from Sok Trang getting his hands in the passing lane. Then the pass ahead for the easy bucket for Ankit.
Nguyen Ankit now makes the score 47-19 in favor of Saigon. Timeout, Surabaya.
Quý vị khán giả ở phía xa thông cảm giùm em, xa lắm đó. Vâng, một lần nữa đó tất cả quý vị, cổ vũ hơn nữa cho Saigon Heat.
Now we got our mics on, that's for sure. We're able to get all of that audio with 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. 47-19 in favor of the Saigon Heat. Noel Zarate still working alongside Coach Todd Purves. Lourve Surabaya has made some inroads here in the first half, in the second quarter, meaning they have 8 points, which is a far cry from the way they started in this game.
Well, that's true. The Saigon Heat, having put up 47 points with 6 minutes remaining in this first half, is just a huge amount of points to overcome.
Coming off the timeout from Coach Joe Marchera. Here's B-Boy Angel. Getting a big pick and roll action. Red once again. And that's going to be a traveling.
Great defense from the young fella from Sok Chang. Couldn't get his grips on it, negating the fast break after the good D. That was Phuc Vinh on the steal, and he looked ahead to make the right pass. He just couldn't quite squeeze the ball. Heat sitting in a 1-3-1 defense as we speak.
Great pass to the other side. Three-pointer is a miss, however, for Lourve Surabaya. That was coming from Saputra. Heat again playing with an all-local lineup. Good ball movement once again. That's a design play actually, but they just couldn't execute. If you're Coach Matt Van Pelt, that's what you want to see from your local team. You just call the play, you run it, and you have to execute it as Johnson scores.
You want to see quality execution on the offensive end and just absolute effort on the defensive end.
Three-pointer is a miss. Oh, Nguyen saves it. And it's still in play.
Ankit continuing to hustle, using his speed and quickness to create another opportunity.
Winner three-pointer.
To the delight of this Saigon Heat crowd, a fan Heat favorite, zooming on.
50-21 now. This lead continues to expand. It's now up to 29. Saputra trying to put on a dribbling clinic. Engio, one to shoot. They got to let it go, and they do. Johnson comes up short, though.
Phuc Vinh with another defensive rebound.
Oh, how about the pass back from Wall? Everything but the basket. Trying to get into the lane once again. A lot of sloppy passes here coming from Lourve Surabaya. Win with a no-look. Win. Over now.
Anket leading that break with his quickness and a couple of really nice quick passes for the easy layup for the Saigon Heat. Everything going their way.
52-21. And the nice thing about the Van Pelt system, no matter who's in, it's the same execution.
It really has been. Matt Van Pelt's got to feel great about the contributions of his local players and the way they've contributed to not only playing hard on the defensive end, but executing his sets on the offensive side.
They cannot hear warnings about the shot clock. That's how loud it is here. Hassan Thomas is going to come back in. So we're going to have another wholesale set of substitutions here. Devin Gilliard will now lead the charge here for the Saigon Heat.
Obviously, Coach Matt Van Pelt wants to get some additional work in for some of his starters. This game not hanging in the balance, but he wants to continue to create chemistry for the playoff time.
Danqua to the side, three-pointer once again, it's good. Pulling from a broken bun.
Against the 2-3 zone, the Heat continue to try and attack the corners. They've been open for three-point range, and they've been able to take advantage of it.
Make that broken bun. Able to get it to go. Johnson trying to keep it alive. He can't. Less than 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. Gilliard transition three. He has yet to miss from beyond the arc. Gilliard is 4 for 4, Coach.
And the ability of Saigon Heat just to convert on transition is demoralizing to Surabaya. You can see their transition defense slowing down more and more as this game progresses.
Another shot by another turnover. And going in for the layup, easy one there.
Phuc Vinh, the national team hopeful out of Soc Chang. We'll see if he'll be on the team or not, but a real contributor here with the Saigon Heat.
With Phuc Vinh getting that layup to drop. 60-21. The lead is now 31, or 39 rather. Johnson, yes. Gilliard spins around the defense with 2 minutes remaining here. Three-pointer once again. That's his first miss from beyond the arc, though.
And that's Phuc Vinh again, looking for the three from the corner.
Sella now, getting it over. Saputra. Give it go. Oh, great anticipation that time. Coming from the youngster.
Phuc Vinh everywhere, on both sides of the floor. With that block shot, attacking in transition.
Well, Francisco De Silva is going to come back in, former member of the Indonesian youth team. 60-23. Nice pass inside, and that's going to be a layup drop coming here from Gunawan.
Nice baseline out of bounds play. A quick slip to the basket from Gunawan. Oh! Gilliard, unconscious.
He sat down for a good 5 minutes, Coach, and it's as if he never sat down. 5 out of 5 from beyond the arc. Offensive foul will be called on the Indonesians.
They're going to say the side pick and roll got a little too physical there. Gilliard unable to miss right now.
Well, we are going to miss a bit of the action because we're going to have a timeout right here. 63-25. Saigon Heat. Yes, folks, that is the score. We'll be right back. off a Saigon Heat timeout with our hearing starting to get slowly impaired because of all of the noise here generated by these fantastic fans that we have here in Ho Chi Minh Start.
Yeah, certainly everything's gone Saigon Heat's way, and they're getting the production from local players and imports.
Well, how about Evan Gilliard? 5 out of 5 from beyond the arc.
And we haven't seen a great deal of Hammonds.
That's right, we haven't even seen him play actually.
At all, right. So if we don't see him play, this may just be an opportunity for Surabaya to get the local players some experience.
Well, talking about Gilliard, he finally missed. And Sean Clark couldn't get it to drop either. Less than a minute remaining here in the first half. Saigon Heat going for the #1 position in the playoffs. And with his 38-point lead, looks like they're underway.
It's a really creative high split action right there from Surabaya. We have yet to see them run that in this tournament.
Almost a turnover to Acela on his back, and he does throw it away. Lob pass again to Thomas.
Claw taking the extra dribble to gather himself to make sure he could throw that lob pass just right. Hassan finishing it strong.
Another steal this time by Gilliard. He does not have a 2-point field goal yet. Almost got the point in there. 67-25. Last shot here for Lourve Surabaya. Getting over to Dunawa and it's taken away once again by Quan Chan. But that is going to end hostilities here in our first half. It has been all Saigon with a score at 67-25 over Lourve Surabaya. We are at the half. We'll be right back. And this one, the light shirts belonging to the Singapore squad. Red shirts, of course, to the Saigon Heat. We are underway here.
And Hassan Thomas selected to go with the jump ball right there. He's a new heritage player, Vietnamese-American with the jump ball, playing the power forward position for the Saigon Heat.
Looking for a friend. Ma gets it inside. First offense now. Geddes on the spin, and Singapore scores first. Barkley with a miss, and it's still 4-2 in favor of the Saigon Heat. Gilliard trying to up the tempo right now. Quick ball movement again for the Heat. Three-pointer this time dropped. Stride working for him right now.
Very much so, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Saigon Heat
make the jump. Pick and roll action that time. Another basket here for the Heat.
Great
Barkley.
defense by Go.
And a slam for Geddes. He is 4 for 4 from the field, coach. Baseline inbounds play. Holder throws it away. That's the third steal for Alexander in this game. Oh, make that Barkley this time. Barkley with his first steal, and he...
Let's see when the shot's shot. And there it is. One more attempt for the Saigon Heat right here.
Gilliard. Oh, they fouled him, and they're in the penalty. Ma was unaware of how many team fouls they had.
Absolutely. And Slinger's coming out in his zone right now.
Yeah. Holder Going to the side, three-pointer on its way, and that is good. That is Tan Dangqua for the Hong Kong Eastern squad, who could clinch the playoffs also in their next game tomorrow. Inside pass, Delvin Go for the layup.
And the Slingers trying to take advantage of the size difference between Xavier Alexander and Quantran. You can have two guys averaging that many assists.
Of course, Coach Neal would like to see a shooter on his team. That's why Barkley has probably been brought in. He had the great long-way long for the Singapore Slingers for a very long time. In the meantime, that's also broken up once again. Another turnover, and Barkley slams it down.
To give to Xavier Alexander, but they did not finish the play with the defensive rebound. Thus, the next shot got the bucket.
We got an 8-0 run ongoing now for the Singapore Slingers. They must win to clinch. Oh, that's a great move. Heading towards the basket there. Back-to-back fouls, though, for the Slingers on this possession. Gilliard now running the pick and roll. Everything but the basket there for Combs. Thomas gets it out. Three-pointer on its way. That is good. But the win, Tuvin.
Cash is here.
1 second separating the clocks here in the first half. Barkley, the pick by Geddes is ready. Barkley shoots a three. Good! Saigon now up by 5, 39-34 in a game that will clinch the playoffs for them. A win by Singapore. Oh!
And no foul called there.
That pass is tapped. And a turnover now going the other way once again. Turnover number 11 now. And there's another turnover forced, however, here by the Saigon Heat. Gilliard gets it inside. Thomas with a slam. 4:25 remaining here in the third. Barkley, tough shot. Gilliard on the outlet now. Going to Holder. They get it out. Hassan Thomas for three. And that is a Reggie.
Gambling, and it paid off.
Holmes, all sorts of problems handling the ball. Here comes Xavier Alexander, and he's going to stuff it in.
Wow. Wow. Loose ball, transition play, no call on the play. Load.
3.5 remaining here. This game is still in the balance. 63 Singapore, 61 for Saigon. And another turnover. A chance to tie or take the lead now for the Heat. They're going for the lead. Gilliard gives them the lead.
Gilliard in transition with the big man going down the lane. I thought he'd dime him for the layup, but he felt it himself and banged home the dagger.
Singapore is out of timeouts. Saigon still has one. They have it in the hands of Barkley now. Getting it out to Geddes. Xavier Alexander, the legend, on the drive, stifled, and it's taken away by Thomas. A foul given up by Geddes with 9.5 seconds remaining.
The team. Let's see if they foul them on the ground.
And a foul has been given up. They do have a foul to give with 1.6 seconds remaining.
And they do create that foul, absolutely. I don't think he fouled him intentionally, but it's going to work out the right way.
Right.
The Saigon Heat fouling out, whether on purpose or not, they fouled at the right time. Now you give the Slingers only 1.6 to get this last shot off. No need to guard the basket. Everyone should be outside the three-point line here. It's a 3 or nothing.
Barkley for three. That's it. And the Saigon Heat come from behind and steer this one 71-68. There's a bundle of Yetas are still alive in the playoff hunt.
What you waiting for? Give them what they came for. This is what they came for. Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop, lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach.
1-on-1, check ball. You do know this is my house, right? Yeah, it's my house too.
No one can compete. I just do what comes natural. Big time shot by Dino.
Oh, with his point guard skills, drives the leg, and a slam down right to the rim. Boom, shakalaka, Canadian slam.
The beautiful lay attack. At the corner. What a shot!
Fast, I'm in. And one. Gets it.
2, 1, 3. And
Athletic
yes.
move, I say away. And has to. Oh, Darren Bassett says no. Slam right there. Alex Smith. Good press here. Stolen. Rise up. Boom.
with the alley. Oh!
Dancing, driving. Gun control. Airtime detonated right there. Coast to coast moves as he finishes it. Oh, man, rise up. Chalmers sidestep. Bang! Mario Chalmers. The turn and the burn by Timmy. Oh, with his point guard skills, drives the leg and a slam down right to the rim. Boom, shakalaka, Canadian slam.
The beautiful lay attack. At the corner. What a shot!
Fast, I'm in. And one. Gets it.
2, 1, 3. And
Athletic
yes.
move, I say away. And has to. Oh, Darren Bassett says no. Slam right there. Alex Smith. Good press here. Stolen. Rise up. Boom.
with the alley. Oh!
So what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Give them what they came for. This is what they came for. Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach.
One-on-one. Check ball. You do know this is my house, right?
Yeah, it's my house too.
Take charge, no one can compete. I just do what comes natural. This is what they came for.
We got some numbers from the massacre that happened in the first half. The Saigon Heat up 67-25, and here are the numbers that prove it.
And you're looking to shoot 11 of 18 in a three-point shooting drill. And so the Saigon Heat have come out here on fire. Everything that could have gone wrong for Surabaya did. Here we are now at this point, really seeing what the local players can do.
Alioni too, of course, not suiting up for Surabaya today. We have not seen Marcus Hammonds. We've only seen a lot of minutes from Jamar Johnson. It's really been the locals, and you got to credit also the locals for Surabaya for hanging in there. They have done their best, and they will continue to do their best in the second half.
Well, they're going to continue to fight, but Coach Matt Van Pelt would be happy with 23 assists at the end of the game.
Right.
Here we are at halftime with 23 already. You're just sharing the ball. You're getting easy baskets. And
And
again,
for the locals, no less. There was a spell that it was just all locals on the floor.
absolutely. And watching the locals, players like Cook Ving, Tim Wall, putting their imprint on this game and showing what they can do.
The three earlier.
Zooming on as well. One of the really nice guards coming out of Saigon.
Wow. So we're going to see a lot of that here in the second half. We are still in halftime here, folks. Needless to say, it looks like barring a meteorite or something like that, Saigon is probably going to get the #1 seed into the playoffs.
It appears that way, and they've earned it. They came out here into their home crowd. They're about to win their 3rd straight game and heading into the playoffs with all the momentum that Coach Matt Van Pelt had hoped for.
And also, we have not seen Holder. We have not seen Combs, as you mentioned earlier. We've seen a lot of Hassan Thomas, though. And we've also seen how Evan Gilliard can just light it up. He is 5 of 6 from three-point range. He made his first 5 before he missed that last one towards the end of the second.
As quick as he is, you just can't guard him on the perimeter if he's going to make three-point shots. What you need to do normally is back off him and stop him from getting to the rack and helping other people. If he's going to make that long-range 3, what a nightmare for Surabaya.
Well, Hassan Thomas will start once again here in the second half.
Hassan, a young player, still carving out his path here. His first year in international basketball and making his mark early.
He brings that Dennis Rodman vibe, actually. He's wearing the jersey number 10. I won't be surprised down the line if he switches it up to 91.
You might be right. We're going to continue to see his game grow. He obviously has a great work ethic, but he's a little bit raw. Will he polish up that back-to-the-back game?
Yeah. I'm a fan of this kid, though. Watch on.
As are the Vietnamese fans and the VBA fans. They've been doing it for a while. He likes to put a little mustard on the hot dog, and the fans love that as well. Mr. Wiggles, he'll give you a little extra something at showtime, and I appreciate it too.
Well, with this incarnation of the Saigon Heat, Coach Matt Van Pelt has so many ingredients to actually make a deep run, not only in the ABL, but even just join other club competitions around Asia.
Without question, and not only Matt Van Pelt, with the help of General Manager Connor Wynn,
yes,
they have built this team with thought, and the pieces fit together.
Connor Wynn has been in the basketball scene for a very, very long time, and he knows what he's doing. Three-pointer on its way to begin the second half. Another three-pointer dropping here.
Ban with the nice shot. Yeah, Vokimban. He's an all-around player for the Saigon Heat in the VBA. Heat now in a 1-2-2 zone. Coach Matt Van Pelt trying to give a different look, and no doubt getting some work for the playoffs.
Another turnover here, however, to Acela, fighting back, but he couldn't hang on to it. So it will stay with the Saigon Heat.
And this is the advantage when you have a game like this late. Matt Van Pelt is going to be able to take a look at some different types of coverages, different types of lineups, and see what he might be able to insert in the playoffs at a strategic moment.
You know, this is also great for building the confidence of the third stringers, as we called them earlier, because what if we have some injuries? What if there are some foul trouble? At least they're ready with some game experience.
And it may only be a couple of possessions in a pivotal game, and he needs to see exactly what weapons he has to use.
Jamar Johnson has been the prime weapon here for Lourve Surabaya. Get it inside once again. That's going to be a traveling violation called against El Islam.
Slid that right pivot foot just a little bit. Could have gone up early, but was afraid to get his shot blocked, and then slid the pivot foot trying to create space. Good call by the referee.
He's the last one to come off the bench now here for Lourve Surabaya, getting the start for Coach John Martiera here in the third. That is tapped away from behind. So Gunawan with a long hand. Thomas. Number 3 on its way. And the impeccable shooting for Evan Gilliard continues.
And the basket looks like a swimming pool for Evan Gilliard. Everything he throws up is splashing.
I love the way you just called it a swimming pool for the splash, Coach.
It was an accident, no, we're going to ride with it.
It sounded so organic right here, and it works. 73, 25. I'm not even going to venture on how many points that is. Almost a 50-point lead, 48-point lead right now.
And I don't expect to see many of the import players for the Saigon Heat here in for much longer. We've only got Gilliard, Hassan Thomas being a local player, but we're going to see the local players get a lot of burn in this second half.
We haven't even seen the two big imports for Saigon in this game. There's Gunawan changing directions, almost has it taken away. Drop pass inside, and B-Boy Angel continues to struggle in this one. Thomas, watch out, nice fake, lost the ball. Gunawan with the recovery, ahead to Johnson now. Lamar Johnson now. They'll slow things down. Less than 8 minutes to play here in the third. And that is going to be on someone's foot. So they will reset the shot clock.
And neither team seems to have a real back-to-the-basket threat in the game right now. No one's looking to go down to the block and really draw that double team, as these are guys that all want to face up or play from the perimeter.
Johnson, of course, he's a natural three, it appears. And Islam can't get it to go. Billiard pulls up again. Another one drops. 7 3-pointers in the game.
And the pool gets bigger. I don't know. It's as though he can't miss right now. Everything he throws up is finding the bottom of the net.
76 to 25. It's up to a 51-point lead right now. And the Indonesians still can't score from point-blank range. But that's going to mean free throws now for Muhammad El Islam. Or Muhammad El Islami. Boy, this building's going to be tough to play in for all the teams moving forward here. There's a reason why Saigon is 3-0 in this building.
And hard to believe we're less than 3 minutes into this third quarter. The number of attempts Saigon Heat have already had.
A split coming from El Islami.
And these thunder sticks are being banged against each other, against the floor, against the wall, against people.
I'm taking some home with me. I hope they fit in my luggage.
I understand.
Gilliard, air ball, a rare one.
Finally, Gilliard with a miss. I didn't know he had it in him.
Anglo did his best impersonation of Tom Brady that time, a series of dribbles. And that's going to be a foul called on the Saigon Heat.
Quad Chan with a real nice move off the dribble. Beat his man. Thought he drew the help defender with the around-the-back pass, but just couldn't quite convert it. Again, little mustard on the hot dog for Mr. Wiggles.
I'm talking about hot dogs. We're getting hungry here, Coach. Wasala getting it across right now. Less than 7 minutes remaining. The lead is 50 for the Saigon Heat. Angel against 3 yellow shirts or 3 white shirts gets denied. Gilliard trying to rebalance. Wachan left open. He knocks it down. 79 to 26.
Quad getting his feet under him, just making it look easy there. And I don't expect to see the Saigon Heat starters for much longer.
Another takeaway. Thomas is all alone. And here comes another 2-handed slam. This kid is a local, by the way, folks.
To the delight of the Saigon Heat crowd, and still a raw player. His upside is tremendous, and we're going to watch his career really grow out here in Vietnam.
Where's he at, Coach, right now? 6'6", 6'7"?
He's a full 6'7", active around the rim.
And Islami able to knock it down, and he's getting some love from the Saigon fans as well.
The Saigon Heat fans know good basketball, and they'll cheer for good plays regardless.
The percentages are starting to go down now.
Now, if this is a 2-point game, it may have been a little bit quieter, but in a blowout like this, these Heat fans are just going to enjoy good basketball from both teams.
Still a chance of defense, despite the fact that the opponent is down by 52. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson 3. And a rebound once again going to the Heat. Wachan. You see that? He looked at the crowd and didn't go in. Lob pass now for Thomas. That's too high. Wachan doing a little bit too much of the theatrics here. And here are the wholesale subs coming in now for the Heat.
And we knew we'd see this soon.
Well, hopefully for Gilliard, his day is over because he has 23 points on 7 of 10 shooting now from beyond the arc.
And he just came out locked in and ready to throw it into the hoop. Gilliard dominant early on.
That's right.
It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't see him again today. If so, it's just going to be because Matt Van Pelt feels he needs the extra work to stay in rhythm. Certainly not because they needed production on this game.
Johnson misses again. 4.5 remaining in the third. Another fast break. Win with a fake. High off the glass. Battle for the rebound. Looks like a foul is going to be called, and this will go against. Looks like it's going to go against the Heat on Win.
Yeah, they're going to call that on Win Enquete.
Yeah.
And he got his hands in there so quick. Still really coming into his zone. When you get him in the open court, hard to stay in front of him, and he's got a lot of growth.
Marcelo Howard in the backcourt. Angel still looking for his points. He had 17 in their last outing. And he throws another one up. Challenge.
And Tim Wall just staying disciplined defensively. Stayed down, didn't fall for the head fake.
Win and Kit staying with it.
And Kent with the hustle play around the rim, and the crowd loves it.
He's got a lot of energy. It looks like he recharged during the halftime break.
No, he's an energetic player. You'll see him play for the Heat in the 3-on-3 competitions and 5-on-5. Just a fan favorite because of how hard and how quick he is.
Shot clock did not reset. They got to put this one up. Johnson does in time, but it comes up short.
Johnson recognized the clock, but it's just a little too late. Throwing up the desperation three.
83-29. Now, if you're Surabaya at this point, what are you learning from this experience now?
Well, this is just about your young players getting to experience a rowdy crowd, playing against good competition, and so they won't feel good when they see this final score. But in the long run, these players need to absorb this if they're going to compete moving forward in the SEA Games and throughout international competition.
Bob pass out of the way. He still has it. On the shot clock now. There's the drive. It's overcooked. Shot clock did not reset. Wall is rejected. Good defense by Johnson. Less than 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Rosella. Shot clock at 5 now. Jamar Johnson. Gets Tim Wall. Johnson on the step back, deep three, that is short.
And Ket's hustle continues, getting that defensive rebound and running the floor.
Oh, nice
and there
touch.
he is attacking the rim.
Almost a three-point play opportunity.
And that's why he's a fan favorite, Noel. He plays so hard. He's going up and down at all times, and while he may not be as experienced or skilled as some of the other Saigon Heat players, he plays at an electric pace.
Well, the foul run against Fernando da Silva. And coming back into the game is Rayleigh Pratawa for Lourve Surabaya. How old is this kid, Coach?
He's a youngster. He's not but around 20 years old.
Wow.
I don't have his exact age in front of me, but he's been playing with the younger groups here in Saigon and continues to grow.
Tim Wall getting the stick back.
You'll see them pick up full court here. Again, this is Matt Van Pelt practicing things that can help them for the future. It has no effect on this game here today.
Okay, as we come up on 2 minutes remaining, another turnover here against Lourve Surabaya.
And that's our guy Enquete getting there in the passing lane with his quickness.
Taken away, however, here by Johnson. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the third. 86-29 in the fourth quarter. We're gonna unload some of our stories here, Coach. Johnson, quick passing to Silva. 3 on the shot clock, has to put this one up. The Indonesians have not scored for about 5 minutes, Coach.
And a really nice play by Jamar Johnson to share that ball with the extra pass. The thing is, that extra pass has to be on the money, has to not take him out of the shot.
It's like watching a pinball, if you remember that game, Coach, when you're looking at this kid, Win and Kid, he's just all over the place.
He really is, and that's why the Saigon Heat are so high on him. His effort, his quickness, you can't match that. As he becomes more skilled and realizes the change of pace, he's only going to get better.
A minute and 20 remaining in this one.
Saigon Heat in the zone here, trying to slow things down.
Angel getting a pick. Backdoor cut. Blows up in their face. Pass was 0-2 ahead for Reggie Pratama.
Tim Wall doing a nice job defensively in the middle of that 1-3-1, handling any side pick and rolls.
They get it inside to Wall, who was not ready. Wall was actually heading for rebounding position already.
As usual, he's got that mindset, but his teammate tried to get the ball to him down low. So unused to getting that pass, he didn't see it coming.
We got less than a minute remaining here in the third. Our score once again, folks, 86-29. A blowout of epic proportions for the Saigon Heat. Needless to say, they're on their way to being the #1 seed in the playoffs. That begins, of course, this coming March.
And the Saigon looking every bit the #1 seed here in this final stop.
It's going to make an interesting matchup between them and the Singapore Slingers once again.
It absolutely will. We had a great game the other night.
They're up to 88 points. I was about to say it halfway through this third quarter. They could make 100 by the end of the third. They did not, but they will make 100, that's for sure. They couldn't even hear the warning from the other side that the game clock was running out, but at the end of 3, it is 88 for the Saigon Heat, 29 for Lourve, Surabaya.
Just beasting Jeremy Colton. Gilliardo! Breaking ankles. Barkley ahead. Oh, at the buzzer. What can they do? On one to the finish. Five seconds to go. Speed towards the basket for 2.
Và chúng ta đã đến với một trận đấu cuối cùng của trận thi đấu hôm nay rồi. Everybody, let's go for Saigon Heat!
So the final 10 minutes in this one, Coach, this is already a decided game here. The Saigon Heat up by 59 points. It is 88-29 heading into the final quarter. Once again, my name is Noel Zarate, working alongside former ABL Coach of the Year and ABL Champion Coach Todd Purves. We don't need to look at the stats to know that it has been a dominating performance here for the Saigon Heat. They will hit the century mark, but now moving forward, we have to look at the playoffs. You know Coach Deo Bing Shak is watching this game intently. He knows that Saigon is up against a weaker opponent. If you're Neo Bing Shak at this point, what are you looking for when you're scouting your first round opponent?
I'm taking absolutely nothing from this game, Noel. I'm remembering the game they played yesterday that was so close, and the Saigon Heat have looked like the #1 seed all tournament here in this fourth stop. That being said, Coach Neo is going to have something for them in this first round of the playoffs. They were up 7 late in the fourth quarter last game. Saigon Heat able to win regardless. We're in for a great first round matchup.
Well, of course, for the second matchup, it'll be Hong Kong Eastern going up against the Ennis Matrix. Of course, there's enough time for both teams to rest. We all know that Ennis Matrix was only playing in this leg with only 2 imports being due to Amir Williams.
And you got the feeling that they understood that, Noel, that it wasn't an urgency to them. They knew they were moving on to the final round and plan on being full strength come that round.
Moving on. Hits a three and adds to this lead. 91-29 right now. So developing the locals, that's probably on the forefront for Coach Matt Van Pelt coming into this game. Now, if you're Matt Van Pelt, you know you're going to win here. How are you now looking at matching up against the Singapore Slingers?
Well, I don't think you're looking much from this game, but you are looking to that last game you faced them. The size of Geddes versus Combs when they're both in the game. Where are your matchups? Are they going to be able to stay with Gilliard at the point guard? There's a number of just really interesting matchups that they're going to face. What are you going to do about Xavier Alexander,
And
who's a
Kendrell
veteran,
Barkley.
and Kendrell Barkley? Two players from the wing that can both do damage.
Of course, that will be a best of three affair in the semifinals. Rather, we have 4 teams in, so we're straight into the semifinals, which will be a best of three affair. And then after that, the winners of those series move on to the finals for another best of three affair.
And no, I'd be surprised to see either one of those semifinal series not go 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
I think they
Oh,
both
yeah.
go the deciding
Yeah.
third game.
It all depends, of course, on the health of Amir Williams for the NS Matrix squad of Malaysia.
Certainly, if Amir Williams comes back there, NS Matrix are an entirely different team with different matchups, and we look forward to seeing all 4 teams at full strength.
It's going to be a foul, it appears. And that would be a foul here on Win Phuc Vin, rather. Hope I got the name right. Yes, Win Phuc Vin. And you were also mentioning about the national team players here for the Saigon Heat.
And Phuc Vin, a little bit undersized big man, more of a 3-4 coming out of the Soc Trang area that's been the local national champion here in Vietnam for the last couple of years. A really active player, and he's hoping to get an opportunity to make that national team here in Vietnam.
How many for the national team are in the Saigon Heat?
This is not the entire national team for the Saigon Heat, unlike the NS Matrix, but this is a team that has 3 or 4 likely members of that national team, and that's yet to be determined, but certainly we've got some members here that can contribute substantially.
There's a couple of months to go before the Southeast Asian Games as Tuasela is able to score. And we're going to have the wholesale subs come in once again. Gilliard's going to see some more burn here.
And we're going to see a number of these teams will see each other again. The local players will in those SEA games you speak of in a couple of months.
And in a couple of moments, we'll also be back with the continuation of this game. We have a timeout. Stay with us.
Xin được trân trọng cảm ơn McDonald's đã đồng hành cùng với Saigon Heat trong mùa giải ABL Invitational 2013 ngày hôm nay. Xin cảm ơn.
So these drummers appear to have taken a break. Not that guy with a thunder stick, though.
Relentless fans here in Saigon with the 60-point lead. They felt good from the opening tip about what they've seen tonight.
Right. There was one deadlock in the game at 3-all. That's pretty much it.
Let's go, Saigon, let's go!
Here's Quinn. Getting it over now to Du, who's hemmed in. Win. Why not?
Yeah, really feeling it today, making his impression on the game, not only physically with the hustle, but now with a 3-point bucket.
Why, this kid, if he develops actually into a ball handler with that kind of range, he could be an asset on the national team in Vietnam.
His natural quickness is something fierce, and we'll see him be able to run the floor at a really elite level.
With less than 7 minutes remaining, and we also look forward to seeing some of the players that we saw here in the upcoming Southeast Asian Games, of course, in Cambodia. Good block from behind, though.
And there, Phuc Vin, an undersized postman, just not quite able to finish there around the rim.
You have to remember, of course, that the Jamar Johnson's about 6'6", 6'7".
Got a little athleticism, and yeah, Jamar timed that just right.
Also, the transfer technology, again, that's one of the things that the ABL has actually developed throughout the years with some of these teams in Southeast Asia. I mean, the time was when the Philippines was just dominating basketball. That is no longer the case here, as we're going to have a foul called on Gunawan.
Well, and with some of the naturalized players we have coming into the league, and Indonesia winning the last SEA Games with a surprise win over the Philippine squad, and Thailand certainly building a team that's going to be formidable come Cambodia time here in a couple of months. That trophy's going to be up for grabs.
That's right. Well, yeah, of course, the Philippines will set up their own team redeemed for that, for sure. Because as I told you, according to the record books, the only times, at least in recent memory, the only times that the Philippines have not won the Southeast Asian Games gold medal was you have to go all the way back to 1989 when Malaysia defeated them in their own building in Kuala Lumpur.
And that is a generation away.
Yeah, that's right. Some of these players weren't even born when that incident happened. And of course, everybody got to witness in Hanoi, and you were there, Coach. 2022, Lester Prosper and the rest of the Indonesians were victorious over the Philippines.
I was, and that Lester Prosper is a handful, and some of these naturalized players can be a handful come SEA Games time. We'll see some more very soon.
6 minutes remaining in this one. So it's just a matter of executing right here, but that's a miss coming from De Silva. It's going to be great also, you know, with these players developing under Coach Matt Van Pelt and whoever's going to be coaching the Vietnamese national team. The transfer of technology as well, Coach, from the United States over to here, where it scores once again. That's going to be invaluable as well. That's how a lot of these programs started. You know, you got the programs from Europe, you got the programs from America, you got the program from South Korea where everybody's shooting the three. Moving here to Southeast Asia.
Absolutely, and that technology is allowing not only shared information, but video and coaching across the board. Now with FIBA rules coming in, the teams will be a little bit structured differently than they are from the SEA Games to these FIBA championships.
Right. Again, a lot of teams preparing in the basketball competition. We're only talking about the men's team here. I heard that the Vietnamese women's team is a force to be reckoned with as well.
With the twins coming out of Gonzaga, and they've got some great coaching coming up for that women's team. I expect we're going to have a showdown in the women's SEA Games in terms of basketball. It's going to be great, Noel.
Well, that's going to be a tough task for the Filipinas to defend that title, of course, as we have another timeout, 97-33. It's been all Saigon in this game. So we are 4 minutes and 51 seconds away from officially officially installing the Saigon Heat as the #1 seed heading into the semifinals of the 2023 ABL Invitational Tournament, where they will be meeting the Singapore Slingers, and it will be a matchup between NS Matrix Malaysia against Hong Kong Eastern. That, of course, will be on the first week of March.
And the Saigon Heat have to feel not only great about clinching that #1 playoff spot, but also the amount of time and experience here for the local players in international play. This is just invaluable and may come in handy come SEA Games time or playoffs in a week or two.
That's pretty good execution coming off the timeout by Coach Joe Martiera, as Tuasela is able to knock it down. So again, we're talking about the Vietnamese national team earlier. There are a lot of Vietnamese players from across the globe who are playing in colleges in the United States. Some of the probably could even be Division I players. And there are also someone playing around Asia, playing around in Europe. What's it going to take for the Vietnamese national team to rank all of these talent in?
Well, I think throughout Southeast Asia, we've seen an explosion of Southeast Asian Western players. And so whether they're Vietnamese American or Malaysian Canadian, we're seeing players from all over here come back out. And so, yes, we've seen a lot of what they call Viet Q players out here contribute. Tum Ding, Justin Young, Chris Dierker, and now we'll be moving into a whole other set of new players coming out, some from the collegiate level in the States, and I'm looking forward to see all the new talent that will help build this local talent in Vietnam.
I remember the Malaysian Dragons once had a player by the name of Sidian Lepichev, if you remember that guy.
I remember him well from the ABL, a solid power forward out of Eastern Europe with a Malaysian background, and quite an asset to their squad for sure.
And of course, we have another timeout here called with 3:20 remaining. The outcome has already been decided. The final score remains in the balance. It is 97 for Saigon, 35 for Surabaya. Back in a moment.
Xin được cảm ơn Ủy ban nhân dân thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Xin được cảm ơn Sở Văn hóa và Thể thao thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Xin được cảm ơn Trung tâm Thể dục Thể thao quận Nhất. Xin được cảm ơn Liên đoàn bóng rổ thành phố Hồ Chí Minh. Xin được cảm ơn công ty cổ phần Hyundai Hospitality McDonald's. Xin được cảm ơn công ty trách nhiệm hữu hạn truyền hình FPT Play. Xin được cảm ơn thương hiệu kem Bliss Review Gelato. Xin được cảm ơn thương hiệu bánh Bird. Xin được cảm ơn tập đoàn quản lý và vận hành dịch vụ lưu trú The Ascot Limited. Xin được cảm ơn thương hiệu điện thoại Cactus Ice Blended. Xin được cảm ơn Heart of Darkness. Một lần nữa xin được cảm ơn các đơn vị tài trợ và các đơn vị đối tác.
Matt Van Pelt on your screens. He knows that in about 3 weeks, the real battle begins when the playoffs start. The semifinals will be against the Singapore Slingers.
Coach Van Pelt getting everything he wants tonight, though, with an opportunity to see some of these young guys get some quality playing time.
It's also interesting, moving into the finals, or the playoff round, the final four that we have here. Only one team, as in we're talking about team, has actually won an ABL championship. We're talking about Hong Kong Eastern. The other 3 teams have not yet won a championship.
And the other 3 teams, original members, Malaysia, Singapore, and Vietnam, original members of this VBA.
Yeah, but if you talk about, of course, we're talking about the ABL, of course.
That's right.
Yeah, when you talk about Malaysia, of course, NS Matrix, not the same team that won in 2016. That was the Malaysia Dragons, of course. But as a nation, yes, you are right. Malaysia has won a championship as well. Singapore has got an axe to grind here, making it to the finals 4 times.
They've been
winning.
so close so many times, and Xavier Alexander been a part of those teams. Obviously, Coach Neo and Michael Johnson as well, and so they may get over the hump this year. We'll see. They've got a formidable matchup in that first round, though.
I think a thunder stick just went on the floor. They had to halt play for a moment. Here's Steele. And that young lady sitting over there at the expensive seats.
And that's Phuc Vinh still hustling over there on the sideline.
Well, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to see if you're Matt Van Pelt. Also got to give credit to Jamar Johnson. He's been playing the whole game. And he's still been giving it his all.
He has, and he's a quality individual, quality leader. They certainly didn't have the weapons to compete tonight, but not because of his efforts.
Well, no Algione Chu, he's not even on the bench. No Marcus Hammonds, he's in here. He's in uniform, but he hasn't played. 3-pointer on its way, and boy, Phuc Vinh, our cameraman, almost lost his camera.
And up 62, Unket still making the effort, trying to keep the ball in bounds.
Hey, you know what? This is an audition.
Absolutely.
For some of these players, it's an audition, not only to remain a member of the Saigon Heat, but also perhaps some of the coaching staff of the national team might be watching.
That's a great point, and young Unket has shined in this audition here as he's been all over the floor.
Last 2 minutes, though. Foul going to be given up. As we wind down here, that one's going to go against Quinn Chuk. None. I got the name right. No, that's the one thing, Coach, that you and I work on as broadcasters. We need to get these names right. Sometimes it's all they have.
They can be a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
You want to make sure you're giving the player all the respect they deserve.
That's why we slow down a bit sometimes when we're unsure. But if we murder someone's name, please forgive us. 5 on the shot clock now. Wasela. Angio with a steal.
Errant outlet pass leading to a quick turnover.
A lot of the balance, of course, for this squad from Surabaya. And perhaps even for Jamar Johnson, where does he go from here? Does Surabaya become a member team moving on to the next season?
Well, I'm speculating that Jamar probably has some national team duties. And that we may see him again in the SEA Games in Cambodia. I'm uncertain of that, but I suspect that's going to be the case.
Yeah, but they still have Lester Prosper, right? Is Lester Prosper still in the Indonesia lineup?
As far as I know, and that's an entirely different scenario.
To Wasela, three-pointer. I think they're rooting for Saigon to get to 100 right now. Nguyen can't put them there. And it looks like there's going to be a defensive foul on De Silva.
I think they're going to call that on the ground, though. We may have a baseline out of bounds situation. Let's see if they send him into the free throw line. I thought he called it on the ground with a push.
Well, we're going to have another timeout call this time by the Saigon Heat. They will use their final timeout with 41.5 seconds remaining. 97-35. Heat up. Some of the highlights here, most of these belong, of course, to the Saigon Heat. This game was decided, Coach, as early as about the midway mark of the first quarter.
Absolutely. When the Saigon Heat came out, they made no question about what was going to occur tonight in the matinee, and they've asserted their dominance from the jump.
They hit their first, they made 15 points. 4 of 4 from three-point range and a three-point play before they had their first miss.
Looks like they're going to go with a little flat baseline out of bounds play.
Let's help you critique this baseline out of bounds play.
Well, in all likelihood, they're going to change it up to... No, they went right down into Tim Wall, who ducked in.
Foul has got to be called. Again, 39.1 seconds remaining. The playoffs are now set, folks. The 6th of March. That is the start of the playoffs of the ABL Invitational Tournament. Semifinals immediately, best of 3 affair, which will feature the Saigon Heat as the #1 seed going up against the Singapore Slingers. 2 teams that have not won an ABL championship, by the way. Hong Kong Eastern and NS Matrix make the other pairing. Hong Kong Eastern, of course, winning in 2017. And NS Matrix, a new squad here for the ABL. They're going to call it travel here on Tim Wall. But 2016, the Malaysian Dragons didn't win the championship.
They did under Ariel Vanguardia, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Ariel, a great coach here in the ABL for a number of years.
And of course, the most valuable player back in 2016, Matthew Wright, who played in the PBA, Filipino as well, and now is starting his stuff in Japan. Iboyang is just going to get this one across, and it is going to be a mission accomplished also for Surabaya. They did not allow the Saigon Heat to hit 100.
I don't think there were any free burgers at stake or anything for the 100-point mark tonight, so all even for both teams.
So it is official, folks, with this 97-35 victory by the Saigon Heat. They will be the #1 seed in the semifinals, which will begin on the 6th of March. They'll be facing off against the Singapore Slingers, while Hong Kong Eastern and Ennis Matrix make up the other pairing. And that's all the time we have for you here, folks. That's going to do it for this leg of the tournament. We will see you in the finals. We will see you in the playoffs. On behalf of my partner, a very, very articulate gentleman right here, former ABL Coach of the Year and former ABL champion, Todd Burbs. My name is Dylan Zanate. It is good night from Ho Chi Minh, and we will see you in the playoffs of the ABL Invitational Tournament 2023. Good night from Vietnam.
This broadcast of the ASEAN Basketball League may not be reused in any way, shape, or form without an express written consent of the ABL.